everybody, Adriana Bates here with Clear Mortgage. I'm a broker owner, super excited to be featured here on Broker Playbook. And like most people, I really wanted to break down my business into specific systems and processes. So that's what I'm speaking on today. I'm kind of walking through a step-by-step guide on how I broke down my business into specific systems and then processes within the systems, and then going over KPIs to manage each specific system. Because let's be honest, we can have all the systems we want. If we're not managing or inspecting what we're expecting, then we're probably going to be set up to fail. So I'm excited, I'm ready, and hopefully I don't jump around too much and you guys can kind of follow along. So again, my name is Adriana Bates. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I have been in the mortgage industry since 2011. I don't think we need to get into the story of how we got into it, but basically, like most people, I had no intentions of having a career in the mortgage industry, kind of stumbled upon it, had some really strong early success in it, and just kind of hit the ground running and took off. I bounced around in retail and with banks for quite a while, and 3 years ago decided to bite the bullet and create our own broker shop, and haven't looked back since. So when we decided to switch to the broker model, I thought it was super important to build out a system for every client experience and every loan experience, regardless of where we sent the loan, which investor we were using. I wanted to make sure our key points were going to be the same throughout the process, because in our vision statement, and if you haven't walked through and created a vision statement, I do recommend doing that with your team and for your company. Within our vision statement, one of the main things that we are striving for is a referable experience. So what that means for us is setting proper expectations, hitting those expectations, and creating an experience that is truly a referable one. So starting off, why are systems important? Well, like I said, it provides a way to structure a process flow. It also gives role structure. So when you are onboarding and creating lanes for people to stay in within your company, it allows you to clearly identify who needs to be where and who is doing what. So it's preventing that inevitable finger pointing of who is responsible for what and why the ball was dropped. It also allows us to set and manage the expectations that we have for each role and for the system itself and for the process itself. And it also allows us to track our KPIs. How do we actually know we're doing well? And how do we check in on our business and have a pulse on our business without actually being involved in every piece of our business? It allows for role autonomy, which, let's be honest, our younger hires are really looking for that autonomy within our companies. So they want to know what their job is and kind of do it without having any of that micromanaging or someone looking over their shoulder every step of the way. So yeah, it really allows them to build their own business within their role, and then it allows that to scale. So having those systems, you can really track your KPIs and know when you need an additional person in that seat. And then it also allows us to leverage technology to basically create auto tasks, auto functions, and manage with a CRM. So we utilize Salesforce or Jungo, and it's been a beast. A lot of people are going to ask, how do we build that out? It's been a long and cumbersome process that I've actually been working on my entire mortgage career. So what I did, and when we created Clear Mortgage, I broke down our business into 4 critical systems. So I'll go over the 4 briefly and then kind of break down how we track each system and some of the process that we have within each system. So the first one is specifically more for the salespeople. It is generating your referral partners. So this is how we have structure for the salespeople within our company, and how they go about and create relationships with a real estate agent, with a divorce attorney, with a financial advisor, and with a CPA. Another big target group that we are working on as well is our bank turn down list. So what we do is we set very specific items that they are supposed to be doing every day of the week. and we build out their tasks within our CRM or Jungo. And that allows them to go ahead and check and know exactly what they are supposed to be doing every day of the week. So on Mondays, they are reaching out to their pre-approved and lookings. So all of their clients that are pre-approved, they're checking in to see how the home search went over the weekend. Did they find anything? If they're under contract, kind of going over the next steps with that. On Tuesdays, they're doing their Tuesday updates. Wednesdays, they're talking to their past clients in their COI. On Thursdays, they are going ahead and doing their Thor's Hammer or prospecting for their real estate agents, their divorce attorneys, their bank turndowns, their CPAs. And then Fridays, they're doing their referral updates for all of their referral partners. So in this system, we break down how many calls they should be making to some of their prospective referral partners, how many calls they are actually doing per day. Our goal for winning the day is 13. And on Thursdays, when they are doing severe prospecting, that 13 means 13 conversations. So not actual 13 calls, but having actual 13 conversations. What happens once they actually have the call? Do they set a meeting? And then in our systems, we also track what happens after the meeting. So we have a post-meeting follow-up, which is basically after the meeting on day one, we send a thank you note. On day one, we also send a thank you email. We also follow up with a schmooze gift. What our schmooze gift is basically a gift from the conversation. So let's say the real estate agent was really into helping her daughter practice her tennis game. Then we would have our salespeople send her a sleeve of tennis balls and just say, really enjoyed getting to know you on our meeting. Would love to work with you in the future. Here's a sleeve of balls for the next time that you're at the court. Something like that. And then day 4 is a text to remind them if they need anything over the weekend for their clients that we're here and available. Then you go to day 7 and then continue for 14 weeks thereafter. All of this is laid out within Salesforce or Jungo. So every task and every piece of the system is truly documented and marked. And why do we do that? This is to truly collect the data for each one of our salespeople so we can see their conversions. We can see where they're struggling. Are they struggling to set the meeting, or are they struggling to convert after they set the meeting to actually get referrals from these potential referral partners? This also gives them structure because, as we know, and as salespeople, sometimes we don't know what we're doing for the day, that we kind of just plop down, sit down, and kind of just act like we're busy because we're doing busy work, but we're not actually doing income generating activities. So this also gives us structure so that we know exactly what we need to do when we sit down in our seats. So like I said, this is managed in Salesforce. This allows me to run some reports to actually see which loan officer is doing the prospective work that they're supposed to be doing, who's actually going on meetings, and who deserves some of my time. So not that I am micromanaging, yes, I am in a way, but I am really picking and choosing who I am dedicating that time for and coaching because they're actually doing the work that they are saying that they're doing. We always want to believe everything that our sales staff tells us, but in most cases, they are saying that they're doing the activities, but they are not truly actually doing it. So in tracking it in our CRM and through Jungo, it allows me to actually run reports and see how many calls were logged, how many meetings were set, how many meetings were actually attended, and who's doing their post-meeting follow-up. This also will give us some data to see how long it takes some of our salespeople to actually convert referral partners into sending business. So from the meeting, how many weeks does it take for them to actually start sending referrals? And why do I care about that? Because it allows me to be more proactive in hiring operational staff than reactive, because there's nothing worse than hearing your salespeople feel as though your operational staff can't handle potential volume. So for example, if I see that I have some 3 sales people killing it, they're attending meetings, they're converting, they're starting to really drive in referrals, I can look at a report and know that, hey, in 4 weeks, because of their average conversion time frame, I'm going to be flooded with applications. We're going to need to get some loan partners in the door. We're going to need to get an additional processor to handle this volume. So system 1 is generating, creating, and cultivating referral partners. And some of the KPIs that we track for this are the call to meeting conversion. So how many calls to actually land a meeting, meeting set to meeting met. So how many meetings actually happen, meaning if you set a meeting, how many meetings actually show up? And then you can also track if they're confirming the meeting prior to, because that's just a really quick fix. If meetings aren't showing up or meetings are canceling, they're probably not confirming them the day before. Like I mentioned before, the meeting to referrals, how many weeks is it taking for the referrals to start coming in from the meeting date? And like I mentioned, why we track these KPIs is so that we can predict the sales activities to then lead to when we have to hire our operational staff. So system one is cultivating, developing, and establishing referral partners. System two is what happens when you actually receive a referral, okay? So for example, referral is logged. How did you get that referral? Did it come in from Facebook? Did it come in from Instagram? Did it come in from email? Did it come in from text message? So log the referral. Does the thank you email and the thank you text get sent to the referral source? Do they then send the link to apply? How many times are they following up if that link to apply isn't clicked? There is a system that allows us to have the most efficiencies in converting every referral that we receive into someone that truly applies, okay? So then we would have our support staff follow up until that application is actually received. Once the application is received, there is a text confirmation that the application was received. We set the ETA on when they'll hear back from one of our loan partners. Once the loan partner hears back, they either send the loan options if it's a refinance, or then take them through the initial buyer consultation and set them up in our lender logic, send out the pre-approval, make sure the agent knows the majority of the details and has our scripted out summary of the pre-approved buyer, and that is sent out. And all of this is logged again in Jungo. And they are moved through these system stages very specifically and very timely. So again, we have that same experience for every client, and then it becomes a predictable experience, not for our client because they really don't know what to expect unless we set those expectations, but for our referral partners. So they know the conversations that were had with their buyers, that we talked about their max estimated cash flows that they feel comfortable with, their monthly payment that they feel comfortable with, that we talked about the areas of the city and taxes actually affect the monthly payment, and setting them up with lender logic so they can run their very specific monthly payments for each house before our referral partners take them out to look at them, and knowing that they can generate their own pre-approval letters and edit them as they see fit, and how to use some of our technology. So the other reason that it is very, very important that our loan partners are performing this buyer consultation in this second system of managing our referrals is so that we can ask the very pertinent questions, which is, after we've gone through everything today in your buyer's consultation, is there anything preventing you from moving forward with us as your lender? And let them answer. That way we have the commitment that they are moving forward with Clear Mortgage as their lender. And if not, and they say, oh, we want to shop around for the best rate, this gives us the opportunity to then educate them why lowest rate doesn't always mean the best scenario for them, because the lowest rate could equal over their cash to close, or if the fees, this could give us an opportunity to discuss fees, because let's be honest, we don't actually walk them through a fees worksheet or a preliminary loan estimate unless they ask for it, because we don't want to inundate everybody with details. So the reason that we have these systems, again, is so our referral partners know exactly what the system is every time that they have a referral. So our support staff for producers that are producing quite a bit, and if they're not producing the level that we need to have them to have or be awarded a loan partner, then they're doing this themselves. They're moving them from a refinance or a purchase lead, then to app out, meaning they sent out the app, then to app received, then to pre-approved or decisions, either credit repair, not qualified, under contract, in process, closed client. After they are moved through these pieces of our system, there are different tasks that are allocated to different support staff through Jungo so that we know the important touches are being met, okay? And once they are truly pre-approved, there is a system that we are following that once a week, we are touching base with them to check in on their home search, remind them about using lender logics, and running a report once a week for every single one of our referral partners, exactly where their referrals stand and how often, or the notes that we are receiving on their referral partners, how they're feeling about this process, if they're frustrated in their home search, things like that. So I know I rambled a lot, but system 2 is all about managing each referral that is coming in. Okay. And why do we do that? It's really, really, really important, because this is where we're tracking our KPIs for conversion. So what are percentages from referral to actually applying? What are percentages from application to actually being pre-approved? What our conversion is from pre-approved to actually going under contract? And then how many of our referrals that are under contract are actually closing? So for example, if we have 100 referrals for that month, and 75% of them actually go into application. So that means that 75 actually go into truly apply. And then 50% of those are actually pre-approved. That would mean that 38 of them actually get pre-approved. And then if we only convert 60% of that 38, then 23 are actually going into under contract. And then usually if you're under contract, the majority of them will close. So 23 of those, let's say 90% actually close. So approximately 20 of our deals actually go through. So from those 100 referrals, if we look at all of those conversion percentages, out of those 100 referrals, then we actually converted 20 closings. So we can either, number one, know that we have to go out and get more referrals to bump up. Let's say our goal is to get to 40 closings. Let's bump up, then we need to double our referrals. Or we can really improve the pool that we're fishing in the application of pre-approval. We need to get some better referrals, because our application of pre-approval is only 50%. That means we're fishing in a pond of bad credit or bad income, because for some reason they're not qualified. So it allows us to really analyze our business, analyze our referral partners, and know who's sending us quality referrals, and allows us to thank them for that. So that system number 2 is, how do we manage the referrals that come in? System number 1, how do we manage, cultivate, establish referral partners? And then system number 2, what happens to our referrals that actually do come in? And then again, like I said, we do manage all of this through Jungo, and tasks are auto-populated. So we make sure that everything that we are expecting for our clients to go through, and the key important pieces and conversations that are being had are being done, because the tasks are clear. So system number 3, when a referral actually goes under contract, this is a very, very important system. And I think this is one that we focus on quite a bit in our business, is the system of contract to close. So this is where your operations manager or your head processor really needs to live and breathe and know and set these metrics for your business. So there are certain metrics and milestones of when they should be moving to each piece of the process. So like, for example, when someone is triggered on the under contract, then automatically an introduction video is sent out for which loan partner is going to be their point of contact now through the end of closing. Some of the key metrics that we are really using are the max amount of touches back. We only want to go 2 times back to the client that's our max for conditions. And then our biggest key milestones are subbed in for CTC 7 calendar days prior to the closing date. And also that the final numbers are sent with our final closing video, taking them through their CD 48 hours before closing. Hands down, those 2 pieces are the biggest KPIs of our system number 3 of contract to close. Other big pieces of this system are the Tuesday updates done by the sales staff. This is to all 3 parties, the listing agent, buyer's agent, and the client themselves. This is truly a sales call to ask for more business. And also the appraisal updates, when to expect the appraisal back. The other big key metric in this system is also the request for the review at CTC, not after closing. If it's after closing, you're never going to get that review completed. They're done with you already. They've got their money. They've got they're in their house. They don't need you anymore. So always ask for your review request for Google, Zillow, wherever you're collecting all your reviews at the CTC. And then the other features that we do in the contract to close is once they are completed, make sure that we are adding to HomeBot, moving into our post-closing milestones, which then triggers our post-closing follow-up, which are tasks like the annual review checkup and things like that. So the KPIs, or the things that we measure, are the time and the number of days that it does, I guess the loan does sit in each milestone. So contract to disclosure, disclosure to processing, processing to submission to underwriting, submission to condition, resub to condition number 2, condition number 2 to final submit for CTC, final submit to CTC, and then final numbers with the client, basically to discuss and explain line by line the final CD. If you are not doing that piece, please, please, please implement that in your business. So recap, system number 1, establishing, cultivating, and maintaining referral partners. System number 2, what happens to the referrals as we receive them into our business. System number 3, what happens to contracts as they go from contract all the way through closing. And then system number 4, which I think is by far one of the most important in our industry, this is how we build residual income in the mortgage industry, is our post-closing system. So this is how we stay in front of our clients, whether it was the best experience or the worst experience, we still stay in front of them. How do we stay top of mind so that when they think of mortgages, they think of us? So in our post-closing system, it is a very specific drip campaign that we've built out, incorporating video, phone calls, and email blasts, as well as text messages through Jungo. This includes the review request at CTC, the first payment phone call to remind them about first payments and to ask for the referral, quarterly check-ins, annual mortgage review, including them into HomeBot if you're not in HomeBot, the monthly item of value that we mail out, the email blasts, quarterly client appreciation events, which I have been slacking on since COVID. I've been really spoiled. While I might seem like I'm truly an extrovert, I think I'm one of those forced extroverts where yes, I do enjoy the events. I love being around my clients, but I'm actually truly exhausted after they're over. They just exhaust me, but I know that they're very important for my business and for my referral partners. And then we are utilizing some very custom, this is something new that we've implemented into our post-close system. We're using a company to create custom audiences within social media to then put ads and very specific clear mortgage pieces in front of our custom audience of our past clients, and then also with our referral partners. So this is something that we're testing out just to see if that will also increase our top of mind awareness with our past clients. So system number 1, recap, establishing referral partners, maintaining them. 2, what happens to your referrals when they come in the door. 3, contract to close. 4, post-closing. So those are my 4 systems that I created for Clear Mortgage's business. It has been a work in progress and truly a work of art, I believe. And a lot of people ask, how do I create these systems and how do I break them down? So how I do that is create what you would do if you only had one referral, one client, one loan in your business. What are the things you would do for that client so that they feel the love and the attention and the great experience that they would expect with a home mortgage? That is the system that should be implemented for every single client that comes through your door. As we know, when we get busy, the little things that made us great are the ones that go away that go away first when we get busy. So think about, if you had one referral partner, what are the things that you would do to make them feel loved, to make them feel that they were top of mind, to make them feel like you are forever grateful for the business that they're sending you? For the referrals that are sent in, what are the things that you did to make them feel like that they were your only client? Or when you only had one client, what were the things that you did that they really, really appreciated? And then when you had clients that were under contract and you only had one loan going through your pipeline, what were the little things that you did that made them feel like this is truly an awesome experience? And then after closing, what'd you do to get referrals to grow your business? So really identify and break down each little thing that made you great when you weren't busy and implement that as pieces of your business. So what's next for me? I love building systems. The things that I really want to do is build a true marketing system. So per project that we build out, if we decide to try a magazine ad, or if we decide to partner with a real producers magazine, having specific KPIs that we're tracking each project for our marketing budget and determining how we see our ROI for each marketing project. I want a KPI and event system. So when we do have these client appreciation events, are we using QR codes? Are we using some sort of technology to track where referrals are coming from? Like, what are those things called? NFC tags or something like that, so that we can implement some sort of technology to track the actual referrals from that event. I truly want a awesome and smooth onboarding system, which we are using Trainio to do that. That is in something that we're working on. I would love to have a culture system, a system that helps me as a leader remember and do the things that promote a great company culture. That is one thing that I am not great at, but I am working on it. And the first thing at getting better with a problem is acknowledging that you have a problem, right? Isn't that a saying? I would love to have a career advancement and growth system. So Chipotle, I think, does this really, really well. When someone takes a job at Chipotle, they can very, very clearly see how they move up the ranks in the restaurant and what that means in regards to their pay. So I would love to build that system out for the employees that I have that are very achievement and monetarily driven. And then a recruitment and training system. So I would love to have that for sales and for operations. How do we consistently have our ops people on the bench so that when we do have salespeople that are just out there killing it, we can pull someone up and plug them in right away. So those are the systems that I'm working on and building. Hopefully this has been a really beneficial podcast or video for you guys. And as always, I'm sure they're going to put my contact information somewhere. Reach out with any questions. If you want to see how we do track and break down our systems, I'm sure that we have them somewhere in our resources within AIME. So hope you guys are doing awesome and out there killing it. We're halfway through the year. Always a reminder to check in with your goals and see how you're doing, and then forecast what you need to do to actually hit them for the rest of 2021. All right, guys, keep killing it. Bye.